So my requirement is, in case if I have to send any attachments, how do I send the email? In case if I have to attach, in case if I have to attach any documents in the email, how do I send it? Remote will be there. Okay. Now, if you are sending attachment, where are those attachments first? Which attachments you want to send? When you want to send an attachment, where are those attachments? It may be available to me like a document, or it is available to me as a attachment on the record. We have notes and attachments, right? So it may be available to you as a attachment on the notes and attachment, or it is available to you in the document object, or one of the VF page you want to convert into PDF and send it. Maybe I have a invoice page. I want to convert that invoice page into PDF and send it. So what are the sources of your files? What are the sources of the files? Let us see. First, I am going to document object. New document. Text. Choose the file. Some file I am choosing. This is the file I will choose. One of the document. Another one, I will like a now. We need to form the page. Okay. The table, invoice, to, from. Okay. Form that. This two, I want to send it. First one. Public void invoke. First, fetch the document. Fetch the document. Document is a standard object. Anything that is stored to the object, if you want to fetch, how do you fetch? Write a SQL query, fetch it. Anything that you want to fetch, what I do? I write a SQL query and I will fetch it. So here, I was supposed to do right. Convert the document into email file attachment. Convert the document into email file attachment. We are told name, set file, set body. Body is always in the form of body is always in the form of body is always in the form of blob, right? So document body is whatever the email file attachment you are creating, that file attachment body is the document body. Document name, file name is the document name, file body is the document body, right? We can also get content type. We also have content type also. Okay, what is my intention? I wrote a SQL query. I wrote a SQL query. I brought the document. Then we went to email file attachment, file name and file body. File name and file body. Okay. Now what I'm doing here, second one, get the VF page. If you want to get the VF page, page reference P equal to page reference P equal to page dot invoice example. I am referring to a page called invoice example. Now what I need to do, I am referring to that page. Whatever the body of that page is there, I want to get it. Now we are referring to that page. The body of the page what we have, I want to convert it. How do you convert the body of the page? So we are giving blob body equal to p dot get content as PDF. P dot get content as PDF. So we are converting the body of the page in the form of PDF. We are converting the body of the page in the form of PDF. We are getting the body of the page in the form of PDF. Get content type as PDF. Get the content as PDF. Get the content as PDF. Okay. Once you get the content as PDF, create email file attachment. Messaging dot eft2 dot set file, eft2 dot set file. Then body. Now these two are clear. Just go through this. If you have any queries on this, let me know. Line number 3 to line number 15. First go through it. If you have any query, let me know. Anybody has any query on this, let me know. I made it as PDF. That's a body, no? See, whatever you are getting, it is in the form of body. Body I said, file name is your choice. The file name, if I keep it a .pdf, you will get a PDF file. We get a .jpg, you will get an image file. Whatever the format in which you want to send. See, this is not converting into PDF. It is getting the page into PDF and giving the body. Now it has become PDF because I gave PDF. Okay. Right, Emma? Next, what? People have followed these 2 points. Right. Then put all the files in a single. This is how we got it. Now I want to send an email. How do you send email? To address subject plain text body and message dot set file attachments. Message dot set file attachments. What are the files we want to attach? Here already we created files, right? File 1, file 2, we kept in a array. That files I am giving here. Right. Now, what are the files I create on the top? That files I am attaching here. Message dot set file attachments. Then I want to send it. How do I send it? Message dot email. Send the email. So what? Now, what are the email I created? Put the email in the array. Messaging dot send emails. Basically, this entire story is the same program. There is no difference in this program. Only one extra line is creating the email file attachments, adding them to the message. Message dot set file attachments. Messaging dot set file attachment. Messaging dot set file attachments.
Satish, can you explain about that line number 17 and 19?
Yes, 1 minute. Ma. Let me execute this and show you. I'll explain it. E dot invoke. We received a test mail with the 2 attachments. One is a text file, another is the invoice. Right. Now we received the files here. Go back. Here's some question at 17, line number 17 and now what was this? You created 2 attachments. When you want to send an email, they're expecting array of attachment. Even if you want to send one also, they're expecting you to put on the array and send it. So I have 2 attachments. I kept both of them in an array. That's what line number 7. You have 2 different attachments. We put that 2 attachments in a array. That's what is line number 17. Got it, Amma? Somebody from online who asked me the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Just a wrapping up of all. Okay.
And line number 19?
It is creating a single email message. How do you create a single email message? Now these are only attachments you created. Where should you send that attachment? In the email. I written an email program to send the attachment. These are creating the attachments only. These are not sending the email. This is sending an email. Messaging dot send email message is to send the email. That's what we have seen in the last class. Right, Emma? This program is to send the email. Let me remove my mail ID. Otherwise, people practice with the same program. Right. Okay. I hope you are good with this. Now the question is, how do I receive the mails? We have sent the email, okay. Now how do we receive the emails? Now we are written the programs to send. So we have seen how to send a plain body, how to send a HTML body, how to write a SQL query, send the information, all this stuff. But now the question is, how do we receive the email from third-party system? If somebody is sending an email, I want to receive the email. Now, once you receive the email, what you want to do that? Somebody sent an email. With the email what I received, what I want to do? Let us say you send an email to me. Based on the email what you sent, I want to create a lead. You have sent an email to me. Based on the email what you sent, I want to create a case. You have sent an email. Based on the email, I want to update the status. So I want to, customer is going to interact with you through the email. Now whatever the email interaction was there, that email interaction I want to programmatically access it and update some record or create some record or delete some record. This is my requirement. Now how do you convert it? So the first point here is to handle the emails what we receive. To handle the emails what we receive. If you want to handle the email, okay. Now, look at the point. If somebody is sending email, how do you handle? If you want to handle any email, if somebody is sending email, how do you handle it? If I want to handle the email, here I want to go with the process here. Look at the point. The first one is, we need an Apex class to handle this email. Can every Apex class handle this? Can every Apex class handle this? Not every Apex class. Can every Apex class handle this? Not every Apex class. Right. Now, which Apex class can handle this? Only those Apex classes. Only those Apex classes which implemented messaging.inbound email handlers. Only those classes can handle it. So, if you want an Apex class to be a batch Apex, okay, database.batchable. If you want an Apex class to be a schedule, database.schedulable. If you want an Apex class to be a queueable, queueable interface. Similarly, you want an Apex class to handle an email which was sent by the customer or some third-party system, then the class has to handle an interface. What was that interface? An interface called messaging.inbound email handler. Any Apex class which implements an interface of messaging.inbound email handler, any Apex class which handles interface of messaging.inbound email handler, any Apex class which implements interface called messaging.inbound email handler, that Apex class handles the inbound. Now, if any interface is, any class is implementing an interface, what we are going to get? Public messaging dot inbound email result. handle inbound email. If a class A is implementing a inbound email handler interface, if a class A is implementing a handle inbound, if a class A is implementing a handle inbound email, if a class A is implementing handle inbound email interface, it has to implement a method called if a class A is implementing messaging.inbound email handler, it has to define a method called handle inbound email. Messaging.inbound email. Inbound envelope. Right. Messaging.inbound email result, handle inbound email. Messaging.inbound email result, handle inbound email. Okay. So we have messaging.inbound email, messaging.inbound email, handle inbound email, messaging.inbound envelope. Whatever the mail we received, that is, when we send an email, whatever the mail we received, when we send an email, whatever the mail we received, when we send an email, whatever the mail we received, that is given as inbound email. Whatever the mail you sent, that I received like an inbound email. Whatever the mail you sent, that mail was sent to me like an inbound email. Whatever the mail was sent, that mail was sent to me as an inbound email. Okay. Then how do you receive it? We receive like an inbound email. Now when I receive like an inbound email, mail will have from address, to address, BCC, CC, from address, CC address, BCC, CC. Okay, plain text body, HTML body, attachments, everything will be available on inbound. The mail what you sent I received, the mail will have from, to, CC, okay, body, subject, attachment. Envelope will contain what will be there on the envelope, from and to address. Envelope will contain from address and to addresses. Okay. Now I want to read the mail. Inbound email result, that will say whether the email was handled successfully or not. Inbound email result. The email what I received is that email was received successfully or not. The email what I received, that email is handled successfully or not. The email what we received, that email was handled successfully or not. The email what I received, that email was handled successfully or not. That's what we are getting. So I want to read string from whom did I receive the email. Now I want to put contact C equal to select ID from contact, where email equal to. Based on the email, I am finding out the contact. From whomever I received the email, based on the email, I am finding out the contact, because all my contacts have my mail ID. I gave limit 1 because I have kept all my single mail ID in all the contacts. Okay. Now, based on my mail ID, based on the mail ID of the person from whom we received, based on the mail ID from whom I received, I want to find out who is that contact. Based on the mail ID, I want to find out who is that contact. Then I want to create a case. Right. Case equal C dot C dot contact ID equal to C dot contact ID equal to C dot contact case contact ID equal to CON dot ID. So the person who has sent the email, based on the person, I am creating a case. Case will have subject. C dot subject. Email dot. C dot subject equal to email dot subject. C dot subject equal to email dot subject. C dot priority. What to say now? C dot status. C dot origin. Then we have contact ID, subject, priority, status, origin. Then description. Email dot plain text body. Right. Then we have inserts. If it was inserted successfully, right. Now, if it was handled successfully, true. If any problem is there, success equal to false. Now, what I am doing, based on the email what I received, I found out the contact. Then I create a case. Case C equal to new case, contact ID equal to con.id, subject email dot subject, priority normal, status equal to new, origin equal to email, description email dot plain text body. Right? This is how we insert it. Now, what is our intention? Based on the email what you sent, I want to create a case. Based on the email what you sent, I want to create a case. Right? Now, everything is fine, but the point is, to which email address I have to send? If I have to send an email, you have to give an email address. To which email address I have to send? There comes email services. Go back to the story. Setup. Then we have build, develop. Then we have email services. New email service. Apex class. In one example. Then accept the email from. Give. So and so. Now, generally what we do, active, save a new email address. When I give it, they generated one email address for me. Now the point is, will you share this email address with the customer? Immediately will slap you. Now what we do, we give this email address with your network administrator. He will configure this email address with your company email address. Like support@icsc.com. They'll configure with this. So any email sent to that, they will be forwarded to this. Because we cannot deliver this. Right? So they'll configure this email address with your company email address. You give it to the customer info@icsc.com, support@icsc.com, but internally the mail will be sent to you. Redirecting, basically. I cannot share this email ID. Okay. Now look at the story. Some message I give. some message I am giving here. Whatever the message you want to give. So somebody want to raise a case through email. Somebody want to raise a case through email. Okay. Now directly I gave, but you are supposed to give that to your network administration. Even the Gmail also you have forwarding services, right? Just keep a forwarding services. This is what the issue. Great. Whatever the mail I sent, with the help of that mail, the case was created. So you are forwarding a mail based on the mail what you sent. We are trying to, based on the email what you sent, we want to create one case here. Now look at the code once again. Look at the code. Now just go through the code if you have any. Go through the code. Go through the code.
So what if we get a duplicate email address? So we'll
Now,
get the top only the first one.
now practically let
It
us
should,
see. We have a customer registration, contact registration of a particular company. Right. There is a contact of a particular company. Now this service is not given for our just duplicate data of ours, right? Now we generally our contacts will be associated with any one of the company. Now if you find there is a possibility of finding a duplicate, you need to handle the logic for it. But generally, if you are not supposed to get the duplicate ID. You are collecting the different customer data, you are not supposed to get the duplicate. Now if you assume that there is a possibility of duplicate, then you need to write a concern logic for that. You need to write a SQL query which can give you uniqueness.
okay, got it.
Satish,
Yes, sir.
the case class object created, right?
Yeah.
What does it means?
Come again. Case contact ID.
Yeah. No. Is it the case is a like Gmail object?
See, case is a standard object, boss. Now, it is one of the main object in the CRM, right? Case, complaint, or a feedback or a request will be stored in the case object.
Okay.
Can you repeat line number 4 and 5?
Come again.
No, repeat line number 4 and 5.
Line number 4 and 5. Now, we received an email. Based on the email, what we received, we are trying to, based on the email what we received, we are trying to, based on the email what I received, we are trying to find out the person who sent the email. Based on the email what we received, we are trying to find out the person who sent the email. Based on the email what we received. So when you send an email, that will have from address, no? Right? Now that from address I took. Whatever the email we received, that is here. The from address I took. Based on the from address, okay, we are trying to find out the contact. Right? Any other query? Come again. Messaging not inbound. it will contain to and from address. The same thing will be there in the email also.
Hi, Satish.
Yes, sir.
There will be number of email handlers, right? Which one will be invoked when the sender sends the email?
Come again.
There will be number of email handlers, like we wrote inbound example.
For
There will be many.
for everything we have only one email. It's not a one email for everyone. Now email service is for one class. Now you want to write one more email services, that email address will be different.
Okay, so the email which we configured through email services for every email address, one class will be there.
Come again, Amma? Come again.
What we are doing through email services?
I'm not getting your question basically. Could you please repeat the question once again?
You told you configure one email address through email services, right? What
See,
exactly we are doing through email services?
If any email is sent to that email address, that email will come to this Apex class. If any email is sent to that email address, that Apex class is okay, the email will be sent to this Apex class.
Okay, Satish, thank you.
Yeah, hello, Satish.
Now, let me finish one more example, Amma. Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Don't delay, boss. Ask your questions quickly.
Yeah, hello, Satish.
Yeah.
So here we are, whenever we are sending that email to that particular email service, we are creating the record, right?
Yes.
So instead, let's say if I am sending the data through the email, and can we insert the data? Can we create a record based on that?
What did I do, boss? Based on the email only, I created the case. No. How, from where the description is coming from where the from address is coming from where the email subject is coming from. It is coming from the email only, no. Now, what is the subject of the case? Email subject. What is the description of the case? Email description. Whatever the body is there, whatever the content is there in the email, with the help of the same content, I have created the case, right? Now, few fields I have given as my own, because they cannot be sent through the email. Now, customer cannot decide what is the priority of the case. Customer cannot decide what is the origin. Customer cannot decide the status of it. That should be defined by me. According to your organization policies, what is the priority, status, and origin? The remaining data of the case is coming from the email only, no?
Okay. Yeah, Satish, and one more thing. So how can we handle, let's say, if the user inserts multiple attachments? Can we handle through the code too?
Come again, Amma?
So let's say if I'm sending the email and I'm attaching multiple attachments.
Okay.
Right. So can we
create, Amma,
handle that?
I've done first example. If you allow me to do the remaining example the same, everything will be covered. Right. My next example is going to be the same. How to handle the attachments. Right.
Satish, one small doubt in this program.
Yeah.
We have inbound email result as a handle inbound. We are handling by using the handler, right?
Yes, Amma.
Here, by using the case object, we are inserting that all the details into the database. Fine. So where do we set that case to result? In this program, we are not setting anything from the case to result, right?
Case to result. What is case to result?
The details of the email from the case to result object, we are not setting anywhere here.
There is no result object, Amma. It's a variable, Amma. Messaging dot inbound result is a class which has got a variable called result. Result is not a class here. It's a variable of the class. This has only one variable called success. Okay. The object dot success equal to true, object dot success equal to false. Got it, Amma? See, let me repeat the things here. Okay. The remaining things I'll be covering one step by step. I'll be covering, but allow me to cover things because people are putting all the things in a single example. It's not possible. Okay. Now let us take the key points. I'll revise the point what we have discussed. Messaging dot inbound email handler is the messaging dot inbound email handler is the messaging dot inbound email handler. Messaging dot inbound email handler. It is the interface which is implementing, which is implemented by class. If this is implemented by a class, if it is implemented by a class, if this is implemented by a class, it has to implement a method called handle inbound email. It is implemented by a class, it has to define a method called handle inbound email. When it has to define a method called handle inbound email, it has two parameters: inbound email, inbound envelope. Inbound email, which will contain the email what we received. Inbound envelope, inbound envelope, inbound envelope. This will contain to address and from address. 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 Right. This will contain the to address and from address. Now, when you are taking this, we got contact C1 equal to contact ID from contact where email equal to from address. Select ID from contact where email ID equal to from address. Whatever the email address from where I received, based on which I am getting. Now, if you assume that there is a possibility of more than one email address with the same, you need to write a logic for it. The Salesforce will not handle. Now, if you have two email IDs, how would I tell that you will take first or second? How would I tell that old one is taken or new one is taken? I am not to decide. It is your data. You have to tell which one has to be taken. So you need to write a logic to handle what you want. The Salesforce will not give a call. Are you getting my point? Now, if you assume that there is going to be multiple data or duplicate data with this, then how to handle it is your responsibility. First question. Second one. Messaging. Inbound email result is a class which contain only one variable. Success. If the email is handled successfully, true. Not handled successfully, false. Then, based on the email address, I was creating a case. Case is a object. It's one of the standard object. Okay. In which I am creating the case. Now, in some of the fields, I assign from the email. Some of the fields I assign directly. Right, Amma? Is that was clear? Now, how the if whatever the mail is coming, that should come here. How it is coming here? Whatever the mail is coming, that is coming here. How it is coming here? How it is coming here? How it is coming here? Whatever the email we are sending, the mail is coming here. Whatever the mail is coming, that mail is coming here. Whatever the mail I am sending, the mail is coming here. Whatever the mail I am writing, the mail is coming here. Now, how that is coming? We need to associate. We need to associate with this. We need to associate. How do you associate? How do you associate? Then I need to create a email services. Then I need to create a email services. Now, what is that email services? What is that email services? Go to somehow the system is stucking up. Right, Amma? Now, go to the setup, build, develop, email services, new email service, define the service name, choose the class, and enter the email address. I'll write one more class so that we know what was this. Okay. Let me define it now. Setup. Class implements messaging dot inbound email handler. 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 So what I should do? Message dot inbound email message dot inbound email message dot inbound envelope. So what I was supposed to do? Message dot inbound email result. Message dot inbound email result. Then whatever the email you are sending, based on the email you are sending the files also. I want to take those files and I want to create those files as attachments to my document. You are sending a email. What in the email you are also sending some screenshots. So if there is some technical issue, you are taking a screenshots of it. You are also attaching it. I want to take those screenshots. I want to attach to the case. Then what I want to do? First one, find the contact. Okay. In this case, study I am giving here. Find the contact who is sending the email. Right. Email dot from address. Then what I am giving here? Contact C1 equal to select ID from contact where email equal to from address. Then we want to give the try. Same story. Subject equal to email dot. Somebody has asked me attaching the file. Look at the code box. Okay. Online someone has asked me the attachment of code. I am calling this example. Subject priority. Then I am inserting it. Right. This is what I am doing. Next one. Now we are going with the attachments. How do you get the attachments? Look at the point. Messaging dot inbound give here. Was that binary attachments? Yeah. So how are you getting here? Messaging dot inbound binary attachments. So whatever the attachments we are getting, email dot subject, email dot plain text body, email dot so and so, at the same time email dot binary attachments. Email dot binary attachments. Now we are going to set this. Now once you get the attachments, files. Once you get this attachments, what I'm going to do? Once you get these attachments, take one by one attachment, then create an attachment. Internally we have an object called nodes and attachment object was there, right? List of attachment is equal to new list of attachment. Attachment A, attachments. Attachment A, attachments. Now what we are doing? Attachment A, attachments. Sorry, I made a mistake. What was the file I have to take? I made a mistake here. Let me correct it. Fetch the email attachments. So what should I do? I will take one by one attachment, messaging dot. Right. Messaging dot inbound email dot binary attachment. Here I am trying to create attachment. A dot parent ID equal to. This attachment is created for which account? Nodes and attachment of a particular record. So ID of the case for which this should be added. A dot body equal to B dot A dot name equal to A dot name equal to then let me put it one more time. Let me put it. First, I need to explain you few points here. There is what are the fields are there. What are the fields are there? Now, so we have an object called attachment. What are the files we have? Body, name of the file, body, name of the file. Attachment is internally an object. Similarly, we have messaging dot inbound email dot go through this. In this class, what are the variables we have? Body, file name, type of the file. If you want to say PDF or image, that we can specify. So what is our requirement? Listen to the context one more time. I'm giving this one more time. We got a list of email files. In the email, we received a list of files. Now I have to take one by one file, create attachment for a record. Attachment will be created for a particular record. If I go to a particular record, for this record, attachment will be created. Attachment will be created for a particular record. Attachment will be created for a particular record. So what I want to do? For messaging dot inbound email binary attachment, take one by one attachment what we received. So I want to create a dot name equal to a dot body equal to a dot parent ID equal to then I hope you got the story. Here we have a dot name equal to b dot. Now attachment name equal to okay, binary attachment what I received, the binary attachment name. Body equal to body. Parent c dot id. This is how we got it. Now this is the email service. How do you send it? Go back to the story. Setup. Now for everything email address will not be same. We have to generate a different email address for every class. Now build, develop email services, new email service. Second call. To whom you want to send? Accept attachments. All type of attachments. If they are text attachment, convert them into binary because I wrote the program on binary. If anybody is sending text attachments, convert them into binary. This is the email error handling. If your ID is not there in the list, if the day limit is crossed, size is crossed, what should happen? Bounce back, discard, requeue. When I created this, I got a different email address. Right? For the previous one, we have a different email address. For this one, we have a different email address. Now, if we send email to that email address, that first class will call. If we send email to the second address, second class will call. Are you getting my point? So, for every Apex class, we have to define one email service. Because email address is associated with the class. Then otherwise, if you give the same address, how does we know to which class the email should be sent? Are you getting my point? If I give same email address, how do we know to which class I have to send? There is a reason for every class, one email service will be created. Right. Now, if I'm right, some girl in the beginning, is it the same query what you're asking? Online?
Yes, Satish. Now it is clarified. Thank you.
And somebody has asked me about the attachment. You can look at the example.
Yeah, Satish. Thank you.
Go back. Two files are attached. So let's wait for the file to be created. Your mail is not yet created. Let's wait for the file. Software update. Case was created. Here you can find attachments. What are the files I attached that are coming here, right? So if you are sending an email with, when I am sending with attachment. While I am receiving, I will also receive the attachments if required, right? So if you are sending a mail to me, I want to handle it. Is that was clear for everyone? Clear, Amma? Right. Yes, Amma?
In the same class, after we successfully can you acknowledge the user case number?
Yeah, we can read. Write outbound. Now, yeah, there are two things again. Now, when a case is created, you want to find a trigger, or you can write a workflow rule. Yeah. Now, this is not necessary to write a class. I'm saying simply workflow. Your workflow rule, email letter will do it. No. We can have a whenever a new case is created, send the email to the concern. There is no email address on the case. If there is no email address in the case, then what you can do? We can write a process builder, or you can write a Apex class trigger. When a case is created, you want to find out the contact, send an email. That we can do after creation of case, not in the same. Once case is successfully created, we want to automate it. So you can go with a workflow rule, or you can go with a process builder, or you can go with your triggers to achieve it. Okay. Right. If in case it failed, I can write in the case catch, boss, you are not a registered customer. There I can write. Case means what? Failed. Right, I can write it. Now if it is successful, let the file be created successfully, then I will go for it. Okay. No, I don't want to have extra functionality. Write in the same try. Good practice is after it was successfully created, let us write after handlers. No, I don't want to have one more class, then write after this one. What was it? After insert C, write it. Okay. I hope everyone is good with this. So this is what? Handling the inbound email. If somebody is sending the email, they are able to get this. Okay. Right. Amma.
Sir, sir, relative list attachments and notes and attachment both are different or same?
Nodes and
Here
attachments.
we can see attachments.
No. Listen to me. Nodes is one separate object. Attachment is one separate object. But both are visible to you as a relative list in the nodes and attachments. Like you got activities. Task is different. Event is different. But both of them will be shown like a activities. Nodes and attachment is not an object. Nodes is one object. Attachment is one object. They are shown to you like a one relative list in the record. What is my point? Nodes is one object. Attachment is one object. Activities. Task is one object. Event is one object. But they will be shown like activities. Okay.
Satish,
Thank you.
Yeah.
can you go to the top to this program?
Yes, sir.
When you are passing the parenthesis, okay. First you are writing that messaging.involved email object is there, but second was is env object for inbound envelope, but that env object is never used in this program.
Which object, Amma?
Already on that method, when it in the public signature, in the method signature.
Now, because the data what is there in the envelope, that is already there in the email I am using. No, I don't want to use the email variable. I just want a true address. I can say env.toAddress. Okay. So they have given two parameters. One they are saying complete email is in the email. Only to and from address is there in the envelope. You want to deal with only to and from address, you go with env. No, I am happy to use email, you can use the email. I am happy to use the email variable because I need a body and everything. See, both of them contains whatever that is there in the envelope that is already there in the inbound. So I don't want to use two variables, I am using only a single variable. But in my program, the env, he has a question. Why you are not using env? This is never
Yes.
used, no, right? That's why I'm saying whatever the data that is there in the env already is there in the email. I was trying to access the data in the env through email only. Okay, Nama?
Then is it necessary to declare that variable over
Syntax.
there?
It's not our
Oh,
choice. It is not
okay.
our choice. It is a syntax. It is a syntax, right? And tomorrow class